Well, Steve, thanks for your time. I know, busy day for you, lots of interviews. Can I start off by just asking you to explain the change in captaincy and Maro taking up the role?
Yeah, I think when you're making a decision like that, there's a number of different factors to consider, and what the team needs, the players they have, the game, where it's at. And I think one real consideration is also the leadership density you have in a team. I think every team that I've been involved in has a leadership density. It's been a huge asset. And we're blessed there. Maro, I think Maro is a fantastic player. I think he's an incredible professional, has the respect of everybody.
And Jamie, listed as a vice captain, still has a leadership role to play in the team going forward.
Oh, without question, that importance of the leadership density that we have. I think Ellis Genge, as well, is also somebody who's captained England, led England. He's led Leicester Tigers to a Premiership winning season. So I think that density important. There are also a number of other leaders amongst the group, the likes of Ben Earl, the likes of Henry Slade. These guys are going to be key for the England team going forward.
How did Jamie take the news?
Well, I think clearly disappointed, as you would expect. But Jamie is a top class player, an excellent leader, and he cares deeply about English rugby. So what the most important thing there, he discussed was about what the team needs, and that's great credit to Jamie and Jamie's character. And
for you as head coach, is this one of these big decisions that it feels like this is the natural evolution for the team at this moment in time?
Well, I think you've seen the England team evolve since the end of Rugby World Cup 23. You've seen the team evolve through 2024. You've seen a team that, from having the end of the World Cup, from having 1,200 caps, and then the end of the Six Nations having 1,100 caps, that you've seen that come down to the average age of this team in the autumn was about 25 years old. This is an exciting team that's full of incredible talent and lots and lots of potential. And you start seeing the dynamic of the teams change a little bit, in the sense that traditionally the England team was very heavy dominant in the forwards pack. What you're seeing is the speed and athleticism that the England team has now. I think the point difference with the team as it works forward is going to be around the way we move the ball, the way we attack, the incredible talent that we've got in that back line. And if that's going to be a point of difference, that takes a little bit of time to build those relationships and the cohesion that develops together within players, so the understanding develops, and that's certainly something we're working towards.
And just finally from me, I know any Six Nations is a big occasion. You've always spoken about it since you come into the role, the pride and importance for the players of representing their country. I was wondering, given the 2024 you had, how important is this Six Nations and starting the year well?
Every game for England's important, and you'd expect me to say that. As every England supporter, we go into every game aiming to win that game, preparing to win it, the plan to win it, the belief and attitude to win it, and ultimately when we go into the contest, the sheer competitiveness, how hard the players run for each other to ensure we win, how hard they work for each other to ensure we win. That's what every England support would expect, and that's what every England player expects.
Thanks. Steve, just going back to, excuse the croaky voice, Maro. It's felt for a while now that he's kind of almost destined to be England captain, but how did he take it when he finally did get that news that, yes, it's your time?
His face had the smile, the widest, brightest smile that could have lit up the whole of England. A proud man, and I think somebody, again, another player who cares so much about English rugby and wants to help this team on the next step of its journey.
Why do you think now was the right time for a fresh voice, a fresh face as England captain?
There's always a number of reasons. It's never simply down to one, and that's a lot of consideration about where the team is at. And so there's lots of different factors went into it. And I'll say, again, any successful team I've been a part of has multiple leaders within it and has a leadership density. And it's important that we develop that with this team.
Looking back at the autumn, obviously you lost the three big tests and the final one against Japan. But you were there and fighting in every rematch, and they were agonisingly close defeats. Do you feel that England are going to kick on in this Six Nations and maybe turn what could be defeats into victories finally?
Yeah, well, I think that the point you made is an excellent point, in that the team was doing so much good stuff, and what we want to do is enhance the really good stuff that we've done. Keep building upon that and the strengths that the team has, whilst also attending to some areas that need to be better in the Six Nations. It's a fantastic tournament that we have about to start, and we start with Ireland in Dublin against one of the very best teams in the world, and been one of the best teams for a long period. So we really need to hit the ground running.
And of course, it's France just a week later. So 2 massive tests are going to kick off this Six Nations. Is it like a 2 games where, you know, the Six Nations could be won or lost? It could be over in 2 weeks, effectively, because you're playing 2 of the big guns straight off the bat.
Well, I think what is the way when people talk to me about the start of the tournament, what I sense in their voices is excitement. Excitement in the great rivalries, the contests that we have, the challenge that the Six Nations always brings. So we'll concentrate on our preparation. We'll concentrate on our preparation heading into that first game against Ireland. That's our focus, and then we move on to the second game.
And finally, for me, you know, England haven't won this since 2020. You were third last year. Is it this year, 2025, where we can maybe talk about England being contenders again, or does it hinge on that performance over in Dublin?
Well, I think, as ever, when you working to achieve great things, when you're working to achieve the absolute pinnacle, it's ensuring you focus on the step that's in front of you, and that's what we'll do. So today is this announcement from a leadership perspective and the squad selection. The players will have one more game for their clubs, and then we'll come into camp on Tuesday next week, and then we'll start the preparation to that first game.
Best of luck with it all.
Thank you very much.
Hi Steve, thanks for your time today. I imagine England going to every game with, given the quality of the other sides, France and Ireland in particular, a tough start. What are you looking for in your squad? What are you hoping to see as a head coach from the England squad in the Six Nations?
So I'm looking to the players to bring all their talent onto the pitch, and we have got a lot of talent in our squad. Fundamentally, bringing their abilities and playing with a courage and a bravery in the manner that our performance with the ball in hand. At the same point, a toughness in defence, smartness in how we are tactically. Because I think if we do that, then what we've been shown, as we've already discussed, is the team can be in position to win against very, very good opposition. And that's what this England team has consistently shown over the last period of time.
Yeah, with that consistency with the squad, with selection from the autumn, the last Six Nations, how difficult is it to get the balance right between your trusted, experienced players and trying to bring in youthful, talented young guys? Well,
I think you've seen that over the last 12 months, is the evolution of the team. It's changed considerably, and you start looking at, Mitch is back fit at 9, who established himself at Rugby World Cup 23, and then has pushed on from there. You start seeing the likes of Tommy Freeman, Manny Fairobosa is unfortunately injured, George Furbank likewise injured, Ollie Slightholme, Tom Roebuck. These are all players that have either debuted in 24 or had played a few games previously and weren't at the World Cup, who've then really emerged as England players in 24. What I would look to do is, in supporting them, is then pushing on in 2025, taking their game to the next level.
Brilliant. And go back to Itoje. What kind of captain can England fans expect? You've described him as a calm and influential leader. Do you think he'll be a kind of in-your-face character like Martin Johnson, or do you think he'll take kind of step back, maybe like Antoine Dupont? What can we expect to see from Itoje?
Well, I think what you see with Maro is a great balance. He is a thoughtful, articulate, considered man, and he plays the game in a physical manner. Everyone's seen that for overall. His work rate is phenomenal. The physicality he brings in the contact area. And so I think that balance is one of the great strengths in Maro's game and in his leadership. And
how important has it been with him being captain at Saracens? Was that a big part of his kind of graduation up to the England captain?
It's one of the considerations. As I said, there's a number of considerations when you're making a decision like this. And the reports I've received from Saracens about how he's been club captain and how he's done so far this season have been all really, really positive.
Just finally, on a slightly different note, Has the noise surrounding the RFU with Bill Bowen and Bill Sweeney, has that affected the camp? How do you kind of block that out and focus on the job at hand?
I think we've got this exciting tournament ahead. The start of the Six Nations, playing against Ireland in round 1 in Dublin. That's where our focus is. And that's for me, for the players, for everybody involved. We're fully focused on the rugby.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.